Innsbruck in Austria has twice been an Olympic venue. The small village of Igls just outside the city has hosted the sliding sports in 1964 and 1976. And it's that 76 track that we use today for the Women's Bobsleigh World Championships. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you join us. Martin Haven and John Morgan trackside here at Igls after an entertaining but dramatic first heat, John.
Christina Hengster, the billboards all over town promoting her, and they should. She's third in World Cup points, but shockingly in the first heat, an unheard of mistake by such an experienced pilot, probably been down the track 500 times without an incident like this. The crowd was stunned here at the track. It's your home track. I mean, look at the coaches. We were stunned, but she got up, walked away, and we're hearing she's gonna go in the second run. She's in 8th place. Kaylee Humphries, she's won this event 4 of the last 6 years, the Olympics and World Championships. Gave up a little time at the start. She was the first person off the hill, but she's only 1300ths out of first place. And now this chasing down is the world champion from last year, Myers and Gibbs of the United States. Not the best start time that they usually have. Alana Myers usually has the best starts. But here at Igls, which she won on before, she puts herself in a position. She's only 0.10 out of the lead from Anja Schneider-Heinz and her brakeman Annika Draskin. They were the best starters in the field, broke the track record at the bottom, only 200ths off the start record. Look at Christoph Langen. He loves it, and Anja Schneider-Heinz has positioned herself as the leader after 1 of 4 heats.
Well, Schneider-Heinz with a 0.10 of a second lead over Alana Myers-Taylor, and Kaylee Humphries a further 300ths back. That will rage that battle all the way through the remaining 3 heats. Jamie Grubel-Poser and even Stephanie Schneider of Germany, the junior world champion, not out of the medals, nor is her teammate Mariana Yamanka, and 0.6 covering the top 8 or 9 sleds. Behind we got, look, a 3-way tie for 12th. Canada, Russia, and Romania. That will likely be split. And there is Sanne Dekker, the brakewoman, on Christina Hengster's sled, warming up and getting ready to go. Mariana Yamanka, her first World Championship outing. Stephanie Schneider, the junior world champion, just 100th quicker than her. There's Great Britain's Misha McNeil. And warming up in the salubrious location of an icy car park beside the track. John, this track hemmed in all the way around by the other winter sport venues. It's a tiny facility, short, fast start, and you have to be absolutely on your mettle to do well.
No mistakes allowed here. You have to get away with the best start. You have to hold it. The person with the best start is leading the race. That's team Anja Schneider-Heinz. We're going to go worst to first here in the second run. 18th down to 1. It's a 4-heat race. Tomorrow they're going to come out here, and in the ranking after this heat here is how they'll start. And on this track, when you go first, you have a big advantage.
length.The, the first of 3 Belgian sleds in our Women's World Championship. Nel Paulussen behind her. Lane, 21 years old, Nel, 20, the youngest of the Belgian athletes, and her first major international championships.
Well, the start for them, they had the 18th best start in the field, and they're in 18th place. And a little drift there out of the grooves. Look at the way you snake around here. Now this curve, too, coming up here, the Omega curve. Right here, you have to be so precise, because see how she drifted to the right side of our screen? Keep your eyes on that the rest of the way. The good teams won't drift. They'll be right down the middle as they set themselves up for 3, 4, and 5. And up here, Martin, there's just no mistakes allowed on this, one of the shortest tracks, if not the shortest track on tour.
Little skid and a tap going onto the corkscrew turn they call the Kreisel. Out of turn 8, 97.6 kilometers now, that's 60 miles an hour.
Big curve 10, now a 3-quarter combination. This is where the crash was in the first heat coming up right here. She's through that. Good drive lines. Let's see her 54.39 in the first heat, 54.54 in the second heat, 86, a little bit slower start, 300 slower start. Just trying to get our bearings to see if it got colder out, if the sun's gone. Little high wind though, it's been windy here all day.
Yeah, gusting quite notably, and that will really hamper your start if you hit that wind.
Look at the start, everything. Look at the brakeman and the driver have to hit at the same time. Now notice this driver starting in the ice, her feet in the ice. Some drivers will come off the back block, try and hit the front push bar the same time the brakeman has the clean and jerk as you come out of the start blocks. And this is before Kreisel. Boy, you just can't do that up here. It's so slow up top. Any kind of a touch of the wall, you just erase all potential great time at the bottom.
Second sled in the second heat of this Women's Bobsleigh World Championships. It's another Belgian, Anne van Nieuwenhuizen, with Loes Herbrecht behind her.
She starts also with her feet on the ice. More of the men start from that back block. Very few start from the ice.
Best result of her World Cup season, 4th place, just out of the medals in Whistler, the fastest track on the planet.
5:79 start, so she's 200ths better. She had a 700ths lead on her teammate. How can that be up to 70? Is that correct? No, she had a big lead.
She was 5/10.
5/10 up, so it's up to 70, it's up to 76. She's a great driver. We've seen it all season long. And plus, she makes a mistake. Pretty tough-minded, too. She crashed twice in training in Whistler. Didn't affect her. Still competed, finished the race. But was she happy to see Whistler in a rearview mirror?
Yeah, 2 crashes in training, still finished 4th. That's gutsy.
Yeah, exactly. She finished 4th.
Oh, little tap on the wall at the exit of the corner.
54.09, and that's slower by 1800ths. Now, we've had a couple questions about the braking straight here. There's a roof that goes over the top. And where they're stopping the sleds now, there was an extended do-over of the track in the early 90s. Before, you used to stop right after you came around that curve. Here, this is up top of the track. There's the back end, the bump. Look at that air. Whoa! That's up top, 4-5. That's the second sled we've seen do that. Exeter Kreisel, well, can't make a mistake. Trying to do a slingshot effect there, and she took all her acceleration away and drove it into the wall. But she's the leader with 17 to 16 to go.
Christine de Bruyn from Canada, married to Dutch slider Ivo, who will race in the 2-man competition that starts tomorrow. Cynthia Appia behind her, and new drivers making their first major debut. Christine only started driving at the beginning of the 2013 season. Leads the North America's Cup, which is the junior division of bobsledding in North America.
61 start in the first run. 63. She got a quarter of a second lead. That, with her start advantage, that lead should go out to probably 30, 33 at the next clock. And then she's got to keep it straight. Remember, the Belgian sled hit a tap before curve 5. Look at the back end of the sled here. Well, that's pretty good.
She was only 700ths up on the Belgians after the first of our 4 heats. Stays 2600ths up.
23. Belgian girl had a pretty good bottom part of the track. The girl, a little bit of a tap there will cost her some. Watch the heads in there. You see those heads really going left to right. That means she's late coming on the exit of a curve.
Down to 1700ths, a 1/10 of a second at the line, so she didn't add much. Only 300ths faster than the Belgians on that run.
And Wayhouse is a way better driver. Just gives up so much time at the start. But this is de Bruyn's first World Championships. Yes, 2 heats down.
First World's 2 for brakewoman Cynthia Appia.
They're happy. A little quicker at the start. That's what all the teams want to accomplish. The exit of 9. Look at these shots. A little bit of tap there. You know, she didn't drive away from the wall and make a double mistake. She took her medicine, hit the wall, and sled came straight. She's the leader.
There's Christine de Bruyn. Canada, Belgium, Belgium. 3 sleds down, 15 to go. Next up is Katjen Bijl, the second of our Austrian sleds, with Karin Schlepper behind her. Manfred Meyer with his back to us. The coach of Austria, his son Benny, will be competing in the 2-man and 4-man competition.
Austrians come into this competition with so much hope. so much PR, deservingly so.
Rocking the sled backwards and forwards. Was talking to one of the start coaches about how that helps you with the rhythm compared to how much it takes out of the brakewoman trying to get it going forwards again once it's going back. The jury's still out on that.
Brakeman, a hammer thrower. A lot of hammer throwers, field event athletes in the field. It's all about power from your hips down. That's where they want the power. It's a little bit of a different mindset in the way you're chasing and recruiting athletes now. The upper body strength isn't as important to the power from the hips down.
Only 300s ahead of Christine de Bruyn of the Netherlands from the first heat. That's now out to 900s, and that will all go there.
A lot of time she's going to give away there. We'll see right here. Not too much time. She
is flying.
Well, she shows it's her home track. Another first-time World Championship participant. 53.90, so she's only 800 slower. And she's nothing. The Austrian coaches, they don't have anything.
Taking 1600s out of Christine de Bruyn. She's happy with that run.
She wants to know her start. She's upset.
Oh dear.
Well, this is the first shot of two we're going to show of exit of curve 9. Now watch the way that the third shot. We're going to see two here. Now watch this little late coming off the curve, and you got to go over and hit that wall, and the sled's going sideways. So she's 1900s ahead, or 1000s ahead. She could have been, 1900s ahead. She could have been 25 or 30.
Yep. Katjen leading for Austria, though. And next up is another of our new Canadians, development coach Graham Richardson there with the sled. Alicia Rissling, Julia Carenti, both of these girls driving. Carenti's been a brakewoman for Kaylee Humphries. Alicia also coming from basketball, which seems to be a common sport now among some of the female athletes.
It's almost half the field, or more than half, that set their feet in the ice, don't come sprinting off the block. Look at the way they snake around here. I mean, you just can't steer more than you have to, especially on this track. It's not the person that steers the most that wins, it's the female that steers the least.
Canadians came past in a van the other day with a big box of donuts on the dash. They're all donut lovers, but they're saving them for after the championships. Can't eat while they're competing.
1400s lead. Not good. She came over on the wrong side of that exit. See if she's late here. Not bad. Pretty good. Boy, look at her lean before she got on 10. She can see her body lean.
Gans coming right down. She's going to drop behind Katjen at the line. She was only 1500s up from the first heat. And at the line, 800. She hangs on to it. Loses half of her first round advantage.
4-heat race, not like the World Cup, which is 2 heats. This is like the Olympic program. 2 heats one day, 2 heats the next, 4 heats cumulative time. You can't throw one of these heats away.
Alicia Rissling, the race leader for Canada. Katjen in second for Austria.
Now watch, the track and field coaches out there, how do you train bobsled athletes? Well, I hear they don't want to see a lot of airtime on your feet. They want to get your feet on that ice quickly as possible. And now we're going to show you the exit of Kreisel. Look at the body. I like the way the arms are extended. Look at this is exit of Kreisel into curve 8. Looks like she tapped going in. Remember I said she came out of there cross? She came across the straightaway. She tapped going in right there.
It is back to his coach Lyndon Rush as Alicia Rissling leads for Canada. We have 12 sleds to go here in Igls. Gusty wind blowing across the Innsbruck track. Second of 4 heats of Women's Bobsleigh World Championship action. Martin Haven, John Morgan, watching Maria Constantin and 21-year-old brakewoman Andrea Grecu for Romania. Interesting there, the brakewoman is calling the snap. Often it's the driver who sets the rhythm.
Yeah. It's such a cohesive team work at the first explosion off that block. Look at the way she had a little bit of a skid there, the exit of curve 2 to 3, which keep your eyes on that. If you have to come down the middle of that straightaway.
Tied with leader Alicia Rissling after the first of 4 heats to the 100th of a second, a 3-way tie for 12th.
And she started 600 slower. 11 now. So she needs to stop the bleeding. Perfect run down here. She'll have a chance. Those are good lines.
Speed a fraction quicker than Rissling. Rissling had 1:18.5 at the bottom.
Oh, she's flying here. This is going to be probably 300-400ths in the red.
Very close. 100th.
So much Rissling. That was a tie.
It was a 3-way tie.
On the left.
They might still pick up a spot.
Yeah, there's 4 heats.
Yeah.
So she got beat up at the start by 600ths, and she was tied with Rissling after the first heat, and Riesling's beat her at the start, and Constantine shows her experience, comes back on the bottom on this short 1,250-meter track. This is before Kreisel. Can't do that. That's major. Watch the runner tips here on the exit of curve 9, pivotal part of the track, little uphill section. Now watch, look at the runners. She gets real high in 10 here. Watch her climb. This might be one of the highest lines we're going to see in curve 10.
Which is okay if you can use the height on the exit. Big smile as ever from Maria Constantine of Romania. I tell you what, I'm glad we're indoors and not on that grandstand. It is windy. Next up, third of our 3-way tie for 12th, Alexandra Rodionova and Nadezhda Viderka, her brakewoman. They finished, or Alexandra finished 12th in last year's World Championships in Winterberg in Germany. Currently lies 12th.
Had a big problem in the start in the first run. This time is much better. I expect her to, the start time was 75 and slower, but she had much better velocity because she didn't bang the wall before curve 1.
Well, she needs it because she was a 10th slower at the start than Alicia Rissling, who she was tied with, who's the current leader.
First time we've seen him this year was at the World Cup in St. Moritz last week. Russians have been, the women's team have been extensively on the Europa Cup tour. She's never good St. Moritz. Those are good lines there. So she's green numbers now, and she deserves it. Oh, but as soon as I said that, she tapped. 1,500s lead. She should be down in the top 7 or 8 where she wasn't practice all week. And she could eventually get there with runs like that. 53.68, only 100 slower. So that's the first team to come within 100th of itself, or better itself in the second run. Well, and in all her first run, all related to the mishap in the start where she hit the wall before curve 1.
And that's why she's 3/10 quicker.
Well, this is the top of the track, or the bottom part of the track, the lab bridge. You see the big curve 10 up there. This is the 3-quarter combination. Look at the heads. Look at the transition. Look at the back end of the sled here. Little back runner right. Boy, that's
smooth.
Quick down there, but that was no heads moving, no transition. So she was even in the exit of Kreisel, and she found 2900ths on the bottom.
It's Nadezhda, the brakewoman. Again, a real sprinter hurdler. Look to their athletes. Next up from Great Britain, Misha McNeil and Natalie Durat, 11th after the first heat, just 400ths out of the top 10. Chris Woolley, the coach, cleaning the ice out of their spikes.
Natalie competed for the United States last year. She's married to an American minor league baseball player. And she's got dual citizenship now, so she's came over, likes the Great Britain opportunity better. She's a good athlete. Look how low Misha McNeil is in the talent. She sits in there. Had a pretty good, came over 2 to 3. Oh, that wasn't good, drifted there. She had 3, had a pretty good line.
She had 1,500s over Rodionova from the first heat.
It's up to 17. That's relative to the start, though. She beat the Russian by 1,100 from the start. So she should be farther out than 14.
Gap will come down again.
The Russian was good down here. That was a little late.
I think think they might be looking at a runner change for tomorrow if they can. Not as much speed.
Down
in
to
the
6.
sled.
This is going to be right to the 100th. Oh, back end airborne. Oh, she's late there.
Let it fly all the way to the line.
There by 100.
back.
Oh. So that's where the Russian could move up a couple more places
Yes,
yet. She could get up to the top 8 before the competition is over at 4 heats. World Cup race, that's it. You're locked in. At least in the 4-heat World Championship format, you have a chance to make a comeback.
Well, those are some of the lowest speeds we've seen so far in the heat.
Well, watch, she's late here in the first labyrinth. And then the second labyrinth, she's trying, she probably has to steer here to catch up. Watch the back end here. Look at her crossing over. Look at the whole sled is airborne right there. Look at that, really airborne. And she had 700s. Now she lost 800s on the bottom part of that track.
600 plus kilos, over 1,300 pounds, just bounced in the air like it weighs nothing. There's Misha McNeil from County Durham. Nadezhda Sergeyeva, the top of our 2 Russians, 10th after the first heat. Yulia Belomestyuk, her brand new brakewoman, only competed once in World Cup action.
19 years old.
Yep, youngest in the field.
Watch, look at her stride. She came in for her headshot. Look at her frame. She is a true sprinter. I'm sure they'll put some weight on her, but she's 19. Pretty good. 7th best start in the first run, and that's the best start of the second heat. Oh, she's on the right side of our camera there. Exit a curve 2. I think you want to be in the middle or even on the left. She's got a 3/10 lead. That should go out even more because of the start.
Hasn't raced in the World Cup until he came back to Europe after Christmas. And Pierre Luder said he kept the girls in Europe to build up their confidence, get them racing on tracks they know, get them winning medals. And Sergeyeva's done exactly that. She's had a slew of medals in Europa Cup race.
Oh, she's late though. And 10, look how high she got.
Huge height, controls it though.
Yeah, she's going to be late down here. She's probably going to lose the lead. She's going to be 500-600s maybe behind here.
Her teammate Rodionova leads.
There's 7.
Wow, she drops to 3rd. So Rodionova on the right there.
Rodionova knows she should be back here. She should be up the top 6 or 7, and she'll get there by tomorrow if she has the same heats tomorrow that she just posted here in the second run. But boy, did Sergeyeva, she got way too high in 10. She made the mistake in the straightaway. If they show it to us, you'll see her come down the right side to start. Now watch this young brakeman. I think they got to hit it together. Now she comes off the blocks. She didn't have her feet set in the ice. Look at the brakeman's hands.
Yep. See,
that's just a rookie. Look at her looking down. She locks her arms. That's a good routine. The driver's got her arms half locked. But look at the stride on this young girl.
Those legs.
Look at curve 10. This is up near the roof. Oh, wow, that's
frosty
how not to do
ice
it
as well.
Yeah,
that slows you down like driving through sand. There's
okay. Tomorrow's another day.
on the right and Yulia on the left. She's got legs like a giraffe, hasn't she?
Oh.
So the big story of the first heat, Christina Hengster-Sanadecker, Austria's hope.
Okay.
She comes off the back block. Let's see what they can get for a start time.
5:61 first heat. It's a decent start.
5:59. Bobsledders are tough.
She knows she has to give this everything now, John.
She finished 8th in the first run, upside down the last 150 meters. We thought she had hit her hand. The doctors were all over her, released her concussion protocol like they do. And if she has a good heat here, she could move herself up into the top 5 by tomorrow the 30th. She was one of the favorites to win a medal. Austrians have never won a medal in women's bobsledding. This is where their accident was. Coming up, her mistake was made on the exit right here. Oh, she does it again.
Keeps it low.
Oh, but she gets away with it this time.
Speed at the bottom. She's 4,200 up on Rodionova. 1:18.4. Decent speed, and she's down safely. And a 53.43 in the first heat would have left her 200s out of 7th, so it's better, but it's not a top 3 run.
First sled we've seen go under, and it's expected because she... Watch the start, the cohesion at the start. We talk about it being so important. Watch the sled come back to her. She hits the bar. Look at the brakeman. Now watch the brakeman's hands. Look at the transition here. That's how to do it. Her hands never came off those push bars. Now look to the feet. Look how low her feet are. Decker's feet. So those feet aren't up in the air, high up near her knees. Those feet are very low. Well-schooled, well-trained.
It's that low heel action the coaches love. So Christina Hengster is our race leader. 10 sleds down, 8 remaining in this second of 4 heats of the Women's Bobsled World Championships. Busy crowd down here, Innsbruck in Austria, saluting the Austrians. Christina Hengster and Sanna Decker, they lead with 8 sleds to go. Martin Haven, John Morgan, trackside with you as USA's Katie Eberling and Kerry Jones next up.
Well, these girls were very impressive in the first heat with the third best start, 5:51, 5:52.3, probably the norm, 5:55. Everybody else has got a little couple hundred slower. Let's watch the straightaway here. See if she's down the middle of the straightaway. No, she's down that right side, which means she's got to cross over and erase some speed by steering out of that curve 3. She's down to 200s. Boy, she's going to have an awful challenge down here to stay ahead of Hengster.
Well, on her second race ever on this track, she's trying to beat Christina Hengster, who was born and bred here.
But Katie Eberling, last week at St. Moritz, very impressive 9th. She's been on the Europa Cup tour over here. Good athlete. Chicago,
too.
Big Chicago Cubs fan. You got a Baylor athlete, track and field athlete in the back. This is another good athlete the United States has put in the front seat.
Slips 1 into second place, only 900s.
That's about expected. The coach is Scheimer on the left, Mike Dion on the right. They got to be happy with this. Is her rookie debut into the World Championships.
Top speed at the bottom, 119.2, 74 miles an hour. The 5th different driver to race for the USA in women's bobsled this season.
I like Katie Eberling's chances as we go forward. This is a good starting athlete in the front seat. She's going to learn the intricacies of driving a bobsled here. She's way too high in the Kreisel. Way too high, and now she has to dive out, and then all of a sudden she's going to get forced back up. Centrifugal force going to bring the sled back up. Here's down to curve 9. You know, a little late there, but she didn't steer away from anything. She stayed right, left her hands right in check. A little high there in 10. Katie, great job.
900s off Christina Hengster. She lies in second with 7 to go. And next up is our Belgian bullets, Elfie Willemsen, Sophie Verkrijsen. Elfie now 30 years old, former javelin thrower, and Sophie Verkrijsen, another basketball player.
Well, they're going to give up an eternity of time here at the start.
16 starts in a field of 18 in the first heat with a 74. It's a 75.
She's going to be down +3 now, but watch the way she comes around this curve. Sort of towards the middle.
What she does have is a great touch with the steering rings.
Well, we don't want to say anything about her driving ability because we'll jinx her, but she's going to be down 25 or 30 hundredths here. 19, that's not bad with that start deficiency. If she's perfect here, she has a chance to get it down into single digits, but she might be another sled following an extra here.
She's almost 2 kilometers an hour slower than we just saw from the American sledder Katie Eberling. And at the moment, she's only in 3rd place. So Hengster and Eberling look like they're going to pick her off. Speed at the bottom, 118. Not even that. 3rd place. She drops 2 more.
Hengster, give her a red badge of courage to come back from that upside down in the first heat. On her home track, she's one of the favorites. She goes back up, posts a better start time, and she's in the leader's box, and she might be there yet for at least 1 more sled, maybe 2. Elfie Willemsen, she needs a 1,500-meter track to compete. She gives up a lot here. Both, look at it, very good cohesion the way they both hit the sled, except for a look at the brakeman's right arm.
Not quite locked out.
Yeah, not locked out there, a little unsure of herself on they call it the hit. But Elfie gets a 1,500-meter track. She's got more of a chance, and she's 4th at World Cup points. She's had 2 medals earlier in the season.
First of our 3 German sleds in the top half dozen. Mariama Yamanka, World Cup rookie this season, with Elena Nolte behind her, another young brakewoman, just 26 years old.
We talked about it in the first heat. We've been very impressed with Yamanka. Not with her start time, 65, but she's just been very consistent. Never saw any of the North American tracks this year. Went over to Lake Placid, went over to Park City, went over to Whistler. Lake Placid, Whistler have a reputation of taking advantage of first-year drivers. This girl, nothing fazed her. Whistler have taking advantage of first-year drivers. This girl, nothing fazed her.
Second place in the line by 200s.
If I'm Christoph Langen, I'm liking that.
Yeah.
This young German right here on the bottom part of the track went toe-to-toe with Christina Hengster. She gave up a lot of time at the start, right?
Yeah. Well,
600s at the start.
600s to Hengster, yeah.
And then on the bottom part of the track where the speed's pretty good, pretty equal, she was great. Runner tips. Look at that. Boy, that's, maybe she steered too much getting off that curve. She's on the right side of the straightaway.
Brings it over, and no danger for Mariama Yamanka there on the right, and Elena Nolte on the left. Next up, another sensational young German, Stephanie Schneider, the junior world champion, with Lisa Marie Buchwitz behind her. Buchwitz just 21. And Schneider, 25 years old, bronze in the European Championships last week on her World Cup debut. I think the Germans know how to find their talent. This girl could be huge.
She was in the backseat brakeman for Kathleen Martini last year in Wittenberg. She won a bronze medal last year. Now she's in the World Championships in the front seat. And she's another track and field athlete. She's a hammer thrower.
How low her heels are. She's really got this running on ice stuff.
Surprised she got a 55. That's better. 52. That's a better start. I think the Germans have something here too. I think this girl is going to pair her up eventually, and she's going to get the starts that Schneider-Heinz is, she's an Olympic gold medalist as a brakeman in 2006. And now she's made the transition into the driver's seat and could be on the verge of winning her first World Championships.
Yeah, Schneider's never going to be an Olympic brakewoman, is she? She's going to be driving in the games likely as not in 2 years.
She's going to be one of the German hopes right here.
99 kilometres an hour, great speed.
Late.
Fastest sled we've seen. She's 3/10 up on Hengster.
Oh, bank there too. She's going to be late here. Gets away with it.
Unless she crashes here, she's going to take the lead away from Christina Hengster. She does. But that's a great recovery from Hengster and Sanne Decker. They're second with 4 to go. They are in the top half dozen.
Christina Hengster got 1600s back on her. I think Christina Hengster could reel in, get to 5th place by the end of tomorrow's race. That'd be spectacular.
Those girls sound.
Watch this. Watch the athlete in the back. Erin Nolte, she's lost about 8 to 10 kilos in the last year with the transition of the women's bobsled weights. She's a good athlete. She's also another field athlete, track and field athlete. Here, a little late. Airtime on the runners.
Nolte was the junior world champion 2 seasons ago as well, behind Miriam Wagner.
Boy, she made the mistake, but didn't come out and hit the wall. She's been well schooled for a rookie. Of course, her coach is a little bit of a dictator.
He knows a bit or two about teaching them how to drive as well. Last year a brakewoman, this year top 5 in the World Championships as a driver. Well, that's a similar path that Jamie Grubel-Poser followed from brakewoman to driver. Sherelle Garrett won the World Championship last year behind Alana Myers-Taylor.
They had a 5:53 start. I thought they'd be in the 40s in the first run. So let's see what this 2 great athletes can do here. 56. Boy, let's watch her exit of curve 2. Let's see what part of the straightaway she uses. Yeah, she's pretty good in the middle there. speed, 65 kilometers an hour. Keep your eye on that speed the next four sleds. Boy, she's plus, she's minus to -1. Oh, and she tapped. She's in red numbers again.
She's lost over 2/10 already to Schneider.
She wasn't good at training all week long, Martin. We didn't know if she was testing. She had some really slow time.
2 kilometers an hour down on the German slopes.
Skid too.
Everywhere.
Well, she's won 6 medals in 7 races this year. Just seemed like she entered the World Championships in a slump.
Really not got out.
Oh, it's
the
the
wall
5th best time of the
well.
run. Look at Schneider.
Schneider leads with 3 to go on day 1 of the Women's Bobsled World Championships.
And she's only 1/1600ths ahead of Hengster. Start, 56 start. And this is, you know, where you want to keep the sled straight. Look at this tap. No, she gets away with it there. That's up top above Kreisel. Then this is in the 8. This is the exit. Look at the tap there. Into Kreisel. A little tap into 8. Throws her in the middle of the curve.
Stephanie Schneider leads. 3 sleds to go here. 3 to go, day 1 of the Women's Bobsled World Championships. This is the second heat for our 2-time world champion and 2-time Olympic champion, Kaylee Humphries of Canada.
She's going to have to get a better start here. 5:52. She got beat by 1200ths by Schneiderheinz at the start. First heat, 5:49. Now watch the way she comes down the straightaway here at the exit of 2. Something in the track there. See, she came down the middle left.
Stephen Holcomb tells us you want to be on the left as the driver see it, the right on the TV as you come out of curve 2. And he ought to know. 3100s up, but the gap is already dropping to
Like a
Schneider.
little skid there on the entrance to Kreisel. When she was winning the World Championship, she had a start that was the best, if not very close to the best. Here she's 9, 10, 1200s back.
She had the fastest speeds through the tracks in the first heat, and has again.
As you expect, she's won this event 4 of the last 6 years. She is the most talented, most decorated athlete in the field.
Only beat Schneider's run by 400ths of a second. This is a 2-time Olympic champion. How good is Schneider on this track?
How good is Schneider's future?
Yeah. So Kaylee Humphries takes the lead from Stephanie Schneider by 3500ths.
The start, Melissa Loholtz and her have only been together. Oh, it looks like a slip there. Looked like a slip coming off the block there. Look at the long stride. Look how low her feet are. Calgary, up in Calgary, they got that push-outs. They get great push training. Down here, this is where the best speeds were, but she looked a little late there. Look at the heads. Let's watch the back end of the sled here as it enters the... No, you're going to see that.
Well, she was a kilometre an hour slower in this run at the bottom than in the first heat, but she has the lead. 1300's covered the top 3. A 10th out of gold is the reigning world champion, Alana Myers-Taylor. This season with Lauren Gibbs as her world championship brakewoman.
Lauren Gibbs, volleyball player, Brown University. You got an awesome athlete in the front seat that was a softball player at Georgetown, George Washington. Ooh, straight there, 5:41. That's better. Only 100th off what Schneiderheinz had in the first heat. We'll see her immediately come over to the left side of our screen.
Best first corner speed we've seen. Second clock, she's also faster than Kaylee Humphries.
Needs to be perfect, up to 17.
And in the same way that Humphries wasn't looking behind her at Schneider, Alana Myers-Taylor is only looking in front.
That tap, 17 to 12. Skid, that's going to be costly. See how much. Bottom part of the track, though, this sled was flying in the first run. Down to 3. This could be real close.
Go behind. Humphries could take the lead here. Not enough speed on board.
No.
She does go behind. Well, there was only
U.S. coach is pretty perplexed right there.
Only 300s in it in the first heat, and Kaylee came down 500s quicker.
We heard a lot of taps.
Yes, we did.
On this track. Now, this is, we talk about, we want to, you know, look at the way she comes across. Look at that. The back end of the sled almost wiggles a little bit. Then
pushing her off the
down
line.
here, and this wasn't smooth. Look at the skid here. Double skid. Hits that tap, but there's 4 heats.
And still definitely in contention. Alana with plenty to think about overnight. She leads with one, she's second rather, with 1 to go. So we got a double world champion leading, a world champion, our reigning world champion second, and Anja Schneider-Heinze, who took silver in the Worlds and was in the silver medal position in the World Cup race on this track last year. With Annika Dracek, she leads after the first of our 4 heats. Look at Dracek's eyes.
Okay, stay.
They go for it. They can set the track record. 5:40 in the first run. 38's the track record. 40. Boy, is that consistency. Speed, the best. Dracek, a 20-year-old, 5. Right down the middle of the straightaway. Speed, 65.3 is excellent. 3/10 of a lead.
Gap is out. Kaylee Humphries was only 1300s back from the first heat.
Now the ramp on Schneider-Heinze, she can't be consistent. She's only won 1 medal this year so far in 6 races she competed in.
If this is only her second of the season, she won't care.
No, this is pretty good lines. Big lead. She can't throw this one. She's going to be the leader down here.
120 at the bottom is what she needs to really extend this stretch her lead.
She's stretching it out.
120 at the bottom it is. That's a great run from Schneider-Heinze.
I think her coach right there, the second most decorated bobsled driver in the history of two-man bobsledding. And I think he knows that his athletes on the verge of winning a world championship.
Now, I tried to find if Anja Schneider-Heinze ever won world championship gold as a brake woman, and I don't think she did.
I think she did in 2007 or 8 in St. Moritz and in Altenburg. I think she was on the back of, no, maybe not. Maybe she was driving by then.
Sandra had Patricia Polivka and Elina Nolta, and not Elina Nolta.
She's got that thing called Olympic champion from 2006 as the brakeman.
Well, listen, if she can earn a driver's gold world championship medal, she'll be happy. There's Kaylee Humphries on the left, Melissa Lottholtz on the right. They lie second. There's Annie Dracek. Boy, when she gets to turn to
20 years old.
Yeah.
They're already talking about putting her in the front seat.
No kidding. And there is Schneidi, 37-year-old veteran of the sport, leading the first heat, extends her lead from 1,300. She turns the numbers around, 3,100s in the second heat. Alana Myers-Taylor drops from second to third, 200s behind Kaylee Humphries. But whoa,
looking like a race. Those 2 athletes will race for the silver.
Is Schneidi going to sleep well, do you think, or is she going to be nervous?
She's got a little history of not being consistent, but boy, that 3,000s on this track is a lot of time.
She's been so relaxed this season, and the last season, actually, Schneidi. She does what she needs to do when she needs to do it. Look, big smile on her face.
Had not medaled until the Lake Placid, was it the St. Moritz event she medaled in? She didn't even go to
her last win was St. Moritz a year earlier, so Anja Schneider-Heinze and Annika Dracek lead by 31 over Kaylee Humphries, 200s ahead of Alana Myers-Taylor. Stephanie Schneider up to 4th, Jamie Grubel-Poser to 5th. Christina Hengster's recovery sees her move up to 6th position after finishing a crashed 9th in the first heat. Mariama Yamanka, Katie Eberling, 2 rookies. What a great run from Eberling. You can't say enough about her first day. Alexandra Rodionova rounds out the top 10 ahead of Misha McNeil and Sergeyeva. So no ties in the second heat. 18 sleds all down safely. Everybody counted out, everybody counted in. And of all of them, I think perhaps Anja Schneider-Heinze will sleep soundest tonight. And that brings the first day's action to a conclusion here in Innsbruck-Igls. Don't forget, 2-man gets underway tomorrow morning. 09:30, 08:30 Greenwich Mean Time. First 2 heats for the men And the women will be back on ice at 3 tomorrow afternoon, 1400 GMT. Join John Morgan, the FIBT IBSF TV crew, and me, Martin Haven. Until then, thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow for lots more World Championship action from Austria.